They made a pact with humanity. Now no empire can stop them. HFY Sci-Fi story. The message was weak. Fading. A whisper in space. It came from a dying world, one most of the galaxy had forgotten. The species who lived there had once been proud, but now they were broken. Their cities had fallen. Their skies were black with ash. Their people, thin and sick, hid underground, afraid of every sound above. The message they sent was simple. Help us, please. We don't want to die. It traveled across stars, past old war zones, past trading stations, past the shining capitals of great empires. Everyone heard it, and everyone ignored it. The powerful races laughed. Why help the weak, they said. The neutral ones stayed, silent. It's not our war, they said. Even their old allies closed their doors. They are lost. But someone answered, a small blue planet at the edge of the galaxy. Earth. The reply came fast and clear. We received your call. Help is on the way. The galaxy didn't notice at first. After all, Earth was quiet. Not part of any major empire. A death world, yes, but a peaceful one now. Humans hadn't fought in a galactic war for decades. They had no colonies beyond a few quiet systems. Most forgot they even had ships left. But Earth remembered. The humans who lived there had long memories. They remembered what it was like to be alone, to cry for help and hear nothing. They remembered war, struggle, survival. They remembered how it felt to be broken, and they hated it. So when the call came, they didn't wait. A small human ship, silent and dark, arrived near the broken planet. Its name wasn't shared. Its mission was quiet. No weapons fired, no threats spoken. Just a message sent to the surface. We're here. We won't leave you. On the ground, the survivors were afraid. They had seen many ships before. Most brought pain. Soldiers, slavers, thieves. But this one didn't attack. It landed, slowly, carefully in a ruined landing zone. The doors opened, and humans walked out, not in armor, not with guns raised. Just walking, calm, their eyes scanning everything, alert, not afraid, just ready. The leader of the broken species, old and tired, came forward. He had nothing left, no army, no home, no strength. He looked at the humans and asked, why? The human looked back. His answer was short, because we can. That day the pact began, not on paper, not with great words, but with action. The humans set up shelters, brought food, medicine, power. They taught survival, showed how to repair machines, build defense. They stayed up nights guarding the ruins. And when the raiders came again, expecting no resistance, humans responded. One shot, one strike, one burning ship in the sky. The galaxy noticed then. Humans? There? Why? The powerful races laughed again. Let them waste their time. But some began to worry, because humans don't help for no reason, and when they do, they don't stop. More human ships followed, bigger ones, silent ones. They brought builders, fighters, teachers, doctors, and old machines. War machines the galaxy had not seen in a long time. The broken species, once weak, began to change. They stood straighter, learned faster, trusted again. They still had pain, still had fear, but now they had someone standing beside them. One human officer said, "We're not here to save you, we're here to help you save yourselves." And they did. In 1 year, the broken cities had light again. The underground shelters became homes. The children played above ground without fear. But the galaxy was watching, and someone did not like what they saw. From the heart of a cold empire, a message was sent. Break the alliance, leave that world, or face what's coming. Earth's reply was short. No. And in the darkness beyond stars, the first warships began to move. But Earth was ready. The broken were no longer alone. The humans had come, and they were not leaving. They made a pact with humanity. Now no empire can stop them. HFY Sci-Fi story, The Xiao. Stars began to whisper, empires listened. Someone had made a dangerous move, and it was Earth. The once forgotten species, weak and nearly extinct, now had human protection. The same humans who survived a death world. The same humans who once fought 3 empires at once and lived. Now those same humans had made a pact, not a treaty with grand words, not a deal for trade or money. No, this was deeper. This was a blood promise. One night, under broken stars, the leader of the dying species stood beside the human commander. Fires still burned across the ruined hills. The air still smelled like ash and fear. The alien's voice trembled. "Why do you stay?" The human didn't blink. "Because we never leave family behind." From that moment, the galaxy changed. Quietly, slowly, but with force. Word spread. The humans have made a bond, and they don't break bonds. The Empire of Flame, the strongest power in that sector, sent scouts, fast ships, silent probes. They flew past the recovering world, hiding in clouds, in shadows, watching. They saw strange things. Human engineers, building bunkers under alien mountains. Alien children being trained in human martial drills. Human war machines, old and rusted, coming back to life. And in orbit, a station. One that had not existed before. But then, the scouts disappeared. All of them, no signal. No distress call, nothing. The Empire grew cold. Then came the message. From Earth. One sentence. Your spies were treated as hostile. This is your only warning. The Empire's council laughed. This is not war, they said. It's just humans playing hero. They don't have the numbers, they said. They don't have the reach, they said. They'll run, they said. But deep down, some remembered what humanity did last time it was mocked, and what came after. Meanwhile, on the ground, the alliance deepened. Humans shared more. Not just weapons, but ideas. Strength comes from unity, they said. Trust builds empires, they said. Pain makes us hard, but together it makes us unbreakable. The alien warriors listened, learned, adapted. They weren't weak anymore. And when a pirate group attacked one of their cities expecting easy loot, they were met by the Pact Guard, alien troops in black armor, human drones above. The pirates never stood a chance. One escaped. One. He screamed to the galaxy. They fight like one mind, one soul. They're not just humans anymore. They're something else. That story spread like wildfire. Suddenly, the Pact wasn't a joke. It was a threat. The Empire of Flame issued a direct command. Earth, break the Pact, leave the planet, or burn. Earth answered with a single video, broadcast to all systems. A human soldier stood in the middle of an alien city. Children played behind him. Flags of both species flew beside him. He stared straight into the camera. We do not break promises. You come for them, you come through us. Choose wisely. That video shook the stars. Small empires panicked, old enemies rearmed. And the Empire of Flame, they launched a fleet. $1,000 warships, fully armed, heading straight for the world protected by Earth. But when they arrived, nothing happened at first. No welcome, no threat, just silence. Then the stars changed. 1, 2, 10,000 human ships uncloaked from the void. Dark, silent, fully powered. Some had names etched in steel, names like Revenge, Honor, and Vowkeeper. Others had no names at all. They simply appeared, and from every speaker across every ship, a message echoed. This is your only chance to leave alive. The Pact holds. The Empire had never turned back from a fight. But now they hesitated. Because in that silence, in that blackness, they saw something they had never seen before. Fear. Not from the humans, from themselves. They made a pact with humanity. Now no empire can stop them. HFY Sci-Fi story. The Empire chose war. They should have chosen silence. Their fleet, 9,000 ships strong, charged forward, confident, proud, certain of victory. After all, they had crushed dozens of worlds before. They had weapons that split moons, shields that stopped starfire. They believed no one could stand in their way. But they forgot one thing. Humans don't fight fair. When the Empire's fleet entered the system, everything was quiet, too quiet, no signals, no defense grids, no enemy ships in view, just a planet spinning slowly below, half in shadow, half in light. The enemy commander laughed. "They're hiding," he said. "Cowards." Then the shadows moved. One by one, massive shapes began to uncloak from the dark, not in front, not beside, behind them. A full ring of human warships, silent and black, surrounded the entire Empire fleet. Some were small and fast. Others were massive, like floating cities of death. Their hulls were scarred, old, and ugly, but their weapons were active, their targeting systems already locked, and none of them made a sound. The Empire screamed orders. Turn around. Raise shields. Fire. Too late. The first wave didn't come from the front. It came from above. Space itself bent as hidden cannons, hidden stations, and cloaked drones opened fire. The Empire's ships exploded like firecrackers in the dark. Some never even had time to scream. The ones who tried to flee found their way blocked. Another wave of human ships had arrived. From nowhere. It was like the galaxy itself had turned against them. One Imperial pilot shouted, "I don't see them on radar, they're ghosts. These aren't ships, this is a trap." And it was. Because humans didn't come to defend. They came to hunt. Inside one of the human ships, a commander watched in silence. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He simply gave a nod. One signal. And the second wave began. Alien watchers from other systems, hidden far away, tried to record the battle. But all they saw was static. All sensors failed. All visuals were lost. No one truly saw what happened that day. But the aftermath told the story. When the system fell silent again, the Empire's fleet was gone. Not defeated. Gone. No wreckage. No life pods. No escape signals. Just nothing. The planet below still spun in peace. And the humans? They vanished just as quickly as they had appeared. The galaxy panicked. Some said the humans used forbidden tech. Others said they had awakened. Something old. Something sleeping deep in space. Some even believed the humans had turned into machines. But one thing was now clear to every ruler, every general, every pirate, every species. Humanity had returned. And they brought shadows with them. The old species, once broken, stood taller now. Their soldiers trained in silence. Their cities lit with human tech. Their children no longer cried at night. And across every wall, every outpost, every border, one phrase had been painted in 2 languages. The Pact holds. When a traitor asked a human soldier why they fought so hard for a species that gave them nothing, the soldier answered quietly, "Because they trusted us when no one else did." That's all we need. Now, empires held secret meetings. They didn't talk about invasion anymore. They talked about survival. And somewhere in the far dark, another message was sent. Not from Earth, from a scared empire, shaking in silence. "We don't want war. Please. We want a pact too." They made a pact with humanity. Now no empire can stop them. HFY Sci-Fi story. They used to be called weak. Now they were feared. The species that once begged for help had changed. They no longer hid in shadows or whispered from underground shelters. Now they walked tall, armored, trained, and ready. The galaxy watched in silence. But what scared them most wasn't the alien species. It was what stood behind them. Humans, not as rulers, not as masters, but as brothers in arms. The training camps had doubled. Cities once full of broken ruins were now military academies. The old flag of the alien species flew beside Earth's, everywhere. And something stranger happened. The 2 species started to fight like one, Human tactics, alien speed. Human tech, alien instincts. Together, they were a storm the galaxy couldn't predict. When a rogue warlord tried to invade one of their minor colonies, he brought 20 ships. He expected fear, surrender, an easy win. Instead, he faced the Pact Guard. 10. Hybrid ships, silent, deadly. Led by both alien and human captains, they attacked without warning. No speeches, no threats, just clean, fast destruction. The warlord's last words before his ship was split in two. They don't fight like an army, they fight like a mind. His empire collapsed within days. Back at the capital, Earth's generals didn't celebrate. They didn't hold parades. They didn't claim land. They just looked at the map, another system secure, another promise kept. Meanwhile, deep underground, something even more powerful was being built. Not a ship, not a bomb, a new command center, for both species, built under stone, hidden from satellites, shielded from scans. Humans called it the core. This was where the real strength lived. At the heart of the core, a shared council formed. Half human, half alien, no titles, no kings, just warriors and builders. A human engineer once said, "We're not creating an army, we're creating a future no empire can touch." And that's exactly what they did. Out in space, small scout. Fleets began reclaiming old territory, once lost to pirates, now protected by the Pact. These weren't attacks. These were liberations. More species took notice. A few reached out in secret. Quiet messages asking, "Can we join?" Some even offered tribute, or soldiers, or old ships. But the Pact had one rule. We protect those who protect others. No tyrants, no slavers, no cowards. The galaxy started changing. Empires that once ruled without fear now moved their ships away from Pact space. Trade lanes shifted. Border zones emptied. Smugglers vanished, because no one wanted to be the next. Lesson. Still not all feared. One rising empire, new and proud, decided to test the Pact. They sent one message. "Prove your strength. Meet us in open battle. No shadows, no tricks." Earth agreed. One human ship, one alien ship, both old, both small. Sent to face 20 enemy cruisers. No backup, no reinforcements. The galaxy tuned in, expecting a slaughter, but what they saw was something else. In just 5 minutes, the 20 enemy ships were gone, not because of power, but because of precision. Every move the human made was answered by the alien. Every weakness was covered. Every shot landed. They were one team, one rhythm, one storm. And when the enemy's last ship tried to escape, the alien captain spoke her only words. "The Pact does not chase, but it does not forget." And the ship exploded before it could jump. After that day, the galaxy gave the Pact a new name, the Living Blade. Not a government, not an empire, but a force that cuts clean and never rusts. And at the edge of known space, in dark meeting rooms, the old empires began to plan because they knew the truth. If the Pact kept growing, nothing would stop it. They made a pact with humanity. Now no empire can stop them. HFY Sci-Fi story. The warning came wrapped in gold. It arrived aboard a crystal ship, glowing with lights, escorted by 10 royal guards in red armor. The people of the galaxy watched it land, watched it unfold, and waited for the message. It came from the Dominion, one of the last great empires, proud and ancient, untouched by recent wars. They had ruled for over 1,000 years. No world dared speak against them. Until, now the message was simple, elegant, deadly. "Earth, you will disband your pact, you will return to your system. If you do not, the stars will burn." It was sent to Earth, to every allied world, to every station flying the Pact flag. The message echoed across the stars. The galaxy held its breath. And Earth? Earth laughed, not loud, not cruel, just a quiet sound that said, "You have no idea what you've done." The response was not sent by a general, not by a leader. It came from an old human, a teacher, standing in front of a classroom of alien children. She simply looked at the camera and said, "We made a promise, and we don't break promises." That was it. No threats, no ships, just those words. The Dominion thought it was weakness, so they sent their answer. A fleet, 12,000 ships, the largest force assembled in centuries, carriers, destroyers, dreadnoughts, backed by energy beasts bred for war, backed by ancient weapons thought lost, backed by pride. They entered Pact space like thunder. They didn't attack right away. They wanted to be seen, wanted fear to spread. But no one ran, because the Pact had something stronger than fear. They had trust. On the ground, alien workers continued, building. Human instructors kept training, children played in the streets. When asked why, one old alien said, "We know Earth won't let them through." And he was right. At the edge of the system, the Dominion fleet stopped, sensors showing. Nothing in their path, clear skies. Then, the stars changed. A ripple passed through the void. One by one, strange shapes began to form. First shadows, then lights, then full ships. But these weren't normal warships, they were ancient. Human designs not seen in over 500 years, covered in black armor, edges sharp, engines silent, no visible lights, no life signs, but they moved with purpose. The Dominion's commander laughed. Ghost ships? This is their answer? Then one ghost ship fired. The blast didn't just hit. It disappeared half a cruiser in an instant. No heat, no shockwave, just erasure. The commander stopped laughing. Then the rest of the ghost ships fired. What followed wasn't a battle, it was a purge. The Dominion ships didn't get a second chance. Every countermeasure failed. Every shield collapsed. Communications were jammed. Warp drives melted. Ships turned to ash before they could scream. Within 7 minutes, half the Dominion fleet was gone. The rest tried to retreat. But then, Earth's main fleet arrived. Not ghost ships, real ones, with human and alien crews standing side by side. They didn't speak, didn't taunt, just surrounded the remaining ships. And then Earth spoke one final time. "We warned you, the last." Dominion commander begged for peace. He was allowed to live, so he could deliver one message to his empire. Don't touch the Pact. Don't ever touch the Pact. The Dominion fell silent after that. Their fleets pulled back, their borders closed, and, across the galaxy, other empires whispered, "This is not just an alliance. This is something new, something terrible, something unbreakable." They made a pact with humanity. Now no empire can stop them. HFY Sci-Fi story. The galaxy thought it had seen war. It hadn't. Not until Earth spoke its final words. Not until the firestorm began. The Dominion's fleet was shattered. Their pride burned, their command shaken. But instead of learning, they chose rage. They called every ally, every hired fleet, every outlaw warlord they had ever paid. They offered gold, tech, power, anything for ships, and they built a second. Force, bigger, heavier, meaner. 20,000 ships, the largest combined fleet since the ancient Star Wars. Their goal, burn the Pact's homeworlds, leave nothing behind, make the galaxy forget Earth ever existed. They didn't come silently. They moved like a storm, darkening systems as they passed. Planets went quiet. Moons were left spinning in ruin. Trade routes collapsed in fear, and at the front, a single message was sent again and again. This ends now. No more alliances. No more humans. But the Pact had been preparing. They didn't run. They didn't hide. They simply vanished. By the time the enemy reached the first Pact world, it looked empty, quiet. The skies were clear. No defenses in orbit. No response. It was a trap. The second the Dominion dropped ships into the atmosphere, the ground erupted. Massive cannons hidden under rock. Plasma fields disguised as mountains. Entire cities that weren't cities, but mobile defense stations. The first wave of invaders didn't even touch the ground. They were turned to dust. From orbit, Dominion commanders screamed. They didn't understand. There were no signs. They shouted. No warnings, but that's how humans fight. You never see the knife until it's inside you. Then, above the system, the Firestorm Fleet arrived. No cloaks, no warnings, just rows and rows of human and alien warships. Their engines glowing red, their weapons fully armed. This was the fleet Earth had kept hidden, not from weakness, but for this moment. They didn't fire right away. They waited, and when the Dominion made one last call for surrender. It's not too late to stand down. Earth finally answered, it was too late when you touched our allies. Then came the firestorm. Thousands of beams ripped through the void. Not wild attacks, surgical strikes. Weapons hit exactly where they needed. Two enemy engines were disabled, control rooms incinerated, shield systems torn apart. The enemy never stood a chance. The sky turned into light. Some Dominion ships tried to run. They couldn't. The Pact had blocked every exit, every jump point, every wormhole. Every crack in space was sealed. They were trapped. One human captain said calmly, "This isn't revenge. This is a lesson." By the end of the day, only 11 ships escaped. Only one commander lived. His face, broken and shaking, appeared on Galactic channels. We were wrong. You can't fight the Pact. You can't stop the humans. They don't just win, they erase you. And for the first time in centuries, empires stopped expanding, borders closed, recruitment dropped, armies disbanded, pirates vanished. Because, now out there in the stars, everyone knew, if you attack one, you face them all. And if Earth is part of the fight, you don't survive the fire. They made a pact with humanity. Now no empire can stop them. HFY Sci-Fi story. The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. After the firestorm, no empire dared to speak against the Pact. Systems once filled with battleships now floated in silence. Messages were sent with care. Borders were respected. Even pirates disappeared like ghosts in the void. The galaxy had changed. Not because of destruction, because of fear, because now every ruler, every general, every species knew one truth. You don't fight Earth, and you never, ever break the WAM. Pact. The aliens who once called for help, the ones who were dying and forgotten, they were no longer weak. They now had fleets, they had soldiers, they had worlds, and more than that, they had hope. Hope built beside humans, hope forged in the fire of war, hope protected by a promise no empire could break. A new council was formed, half human, half alien. No crowns, no thrones, just leaders, warriors, and builders. They didn't rule the galaxy. They didn't conquer. They guarded. They called themselves the Shield of Stars. One empire tried to test them, just a small border skirmish, nothing major. But within 2 hours, their fleet vanished. No trace. No war report. Just silence. A new message spread through trade stations and signal beacons, whispered like legend. If you raise your hand against one, you raise your hand against all. Worlds began to join, not through fear, but through choice. Broken colonies, lost species, outlaws who wanted peace. Even small empires who had ruled with fear started changing their ways, hoping not to be left behind. A trader once asked a young Pact soldier, a hybrid of both human and alien blood, what made them so strong. The soldier smiled and said, "Because we don't fight for power, we fight for each other." At the edge of the galaxy, something strange happened. An ancient signal began to pulse, something from before any known empire. A weapon? A trap? No one knew. Old races refused to go near it, but the Pact, they went in, together. Humans and aliens, side by side. No fear, no doubt, because they had seen the worst the galaxy could throw and survived. They weren't just fighters anymore. They were the future. And in the final scene, far above a peaceful world, a massive black ship floated quietly. It had no weapons, drawn. No lights. Just two banners hanging from its sides. One human, one alien. And on the hull, in bright silver words, "This is what happens when the Forgotten stand together. No empire can stop them."